Looking to dominate your fantasy football league in 2025? RotoWire has 5 must-buy players who are primed for either breakout seasons, increased roles, or major value jumps, and you won't believe who made the list at the end. Let's start out with number 5, Kayshon Boutte, New England Patriots. Now, Boutte started playing full-time around week 9 of 2024, and from that point, it was like almost every snap, 5 to 7 targets, just about every game. Now, he really perked up at the end of the season. We saw Boutte get 95 or more yards in 2 of his last 3 games, and what I like here is this: Drake May's developing, Kayshon Boutte's developing, and they're doing that together. Now, New England may bring in other people. We know Demario Douglas is a slot player, but Boutte's an outside receiver. And even if they bring in somebody in free agency or the draft, Boutte's probably going to stick. And the opportunity for him to grow is very, very real. And he showed enough to think he might be an emerging star, but I still think you get him cheap in Dynasty. Number 4, Jalen Tolbert of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Tolbert, look, he was given too much on his plate as a rookie 3 years ago. It was clear he was lost. Each year, production jump. Third season, 2024. Numbers aren't staggering. 49 catches, 610 yards, 7 touchdowns. It's nice numbers. Now remember, Dak Prescott missed a lot of time. Cooper Rush was the quarterback. And so, a little bit of an issue there. But Tolbert has shown each year with this jump, it could continue. Now, I want you to know this as well. Tolbert only had 2 games with more than 6 targets. So that kind of explains why you only saw him go over 43 yards a few times. Now, when he had 6 or more targets, 3 of those 4 games, at least 82 yards. And in all 4 of those games where he had 6 or more targets, double-digit PPR points. Now, they weren't big games, but still, he was productive. Now, Brandon Cooks is a free agent. The Cowboys probably move on from him. Dak Prescott should be back healthy in 2025. CeeDee Lamb certainly there to draw a lot of attention. But Tolbert has a chance to really become a thing as early as 2025. Now, if you enjoy videos like this, please consider subscribing to the RotoWire Fantasy Football YouTube channel. Also, you can get your free RotoWire 2-day trial. You don't need a credit card. Just head on over to rotowire.com/Jim. We got all the sports covered for you. If you like what we have to offer, sign up. If not, we're just glad you took a look. Number 3, as we go to the Dynasty buy low players, Marvin Mims. Now, I get it. Marvin Mims had a strong end of 2024, so he might not be as cheap as we'd like, but I still think he can be bargained at a reasonable enough price that you make a move on him. Now, last week through week 10, Mims complete afterthought in the Denver offense. He only caught 11 passes, 69 yards, 19 targets. That's 10 games, not even 2 targets a game from week 11 on. Sean Payton figured some things out. Yeah, they still took some deep shots, but they really mixed in the bubble screens. And Mims had at least 44 yards in 6 of 7 games, and he scored 6 touchdowns. Now, we hate to play that game where we extrapolate numbers out. However, Peyton has been talking about getting Mims more involved since Mims was a rookie. We finally saw evidence of that. It's very reasonable to think Mims is going to be a real deal, especially after he was effective. So if we take that sample in the second half of the season and we extrapolate it, it's 918 yards. He could do better than that, because if he is going to be that big of a factor, again, deep passes, bubble screens, well-conceived offense, you definitely could have an opportunity where Mims works out. Yards after the catch, dynamic, 99th percentile. Now, yards per target, like I said, were down because the bubble screens were added, but that was a good thing. So Marvin Mims, definitely want to look at buying him. Another player, again, late season may make him a little more expensive than we'd like, but Ricky Pearsall, the San Francisco 49ers. Now, remember those last 2 games of the year, especially that Monday nighter against Detroit. I believe that was New Year's Day. We had Pearsall in his last 2 games. He averaged 7 catches, 105 yards, a touchdown, 9 targets. So that recency bias will make him a little more expensive than he certainly would have been at some point last year. However, Deebo Samuel traded away to Washington. Pearsall should move into a high volume role. Now, we know Brandon Ayuk, if he's back healthy, which at some point he will be one of the dedicated outside receivers. And they play a lot of 2 receiver sets, but I think Pearsall can mix in with Juwan Jennings. But when they go to 3 receiver sets, it'll be pick Ricky Pearsall in that slot. pretty much exclusively. We know Brock Purdy's a great distributor of the football, definitely a great offensive scheme by Kyle Shanahan, gets those receivers into space quickly for yards after the catch. So yeah, Ricky Pearsall is an excellent buy candidate. Like I said, a little more expensive than you like, pay the extra price. All right, number one, I don't know if you saw this one coming, Ray Davis, Buffalo Bills. Here's my first point I'll make about this. James Cook is heading into the last year of his contract. He is asking for big money, saying he wants more work. Look, the Bills have kept James Cook's workload to a minimal level because I believe they understand he is not cut out to be a full-time back. Ray Davis was drafted last year. Now, Ray Davis, 3.9 yards per carry. It wasn't anything great, but it was inconsistent workload. The one game, now it was an easy opponent, the Jets, but Davis had one game where he was the guy. 23 touches, 153 scrimmage yards. Again, the Jets were bad, but Ray Davis still took advantage of it. I also want to point out Ray Davis as a receiver. Again, didn't see the field much. 17 catches, a $189, and 3 touchdowns. Now, one was a busted screen that went for a ton of yards, but still, he was an effective catcher and so the football. So that said, as a runner, Davis, 68th percentile broken tackle rate. We definitely can live with that. He definitely can play at the goal line. So James Cook will certainly be with the Bills in 2025. Davis could see a bit of an expanded role, but it's 2026 is why you want to buy. If you can hang on, use Davis as a flex this year. But Ray Davis could be that lead back for the Buffalo Bills in 2026, and you want to buy now while the opportunity is there.